Welcome to the Lovin Dubai Before Brunch podcast. I'm Caitlyn.
I'm Casey.
And we're talking anything and everything going on in Dubai.
And we're with you every Friday morning in the beautiful hour before brunch begins.
Good morning, everyone. We have Rich with us this week because Casey is away. Welcome, Rich.
Hi, Kate.
How's it all going?
All good. It's nice to feel worthwhile and useful every now and again around here.
It's probably quite useful we have you on this week because there's a lot of football talk, which is not my forte.
Awesome. I love football.
So, Mo Salah, that's what everyone's talking about everywhere
at
the moment in this region. And you wrote an article on this because he's been injured.
Yeah. So, do you know who Mo Salah is?
I kind of did before the story broke, but now I definitely do.
Yeah.
He'd always kind of been on our radar because he plays for Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
And he's an Egyptian national.
Yeah.
And he's 25.
Well
and he's
done.
an excellent player.
Yeah, he is. I think what's kind of interesting is often players from this region would have made the jump to Europe in the past. I don't say often, but every now and again we'd hear about it. So Mo Salah, as you said, is 25 and he moved to Switzerland about 5 years ago. But then he got to move to Chelsea. It didn't work out. No one thought anything of it. It's just a kind of a light, young, skillful player who's not really going to make it big. And then he was loaned out to Italy. So Chelsea have a habit of buying loads and loads of players and then sending them off to obscure places around the world in Holland and Italy and places like that. So he played in Italy. Shut me off if I'm boring you. But he played in Italy for a few years. But then Liverpool took a big chance on him last year. And what's happened in football is the economies, the amount of money being spent on players has just gone through the roof.
I thought it was always really, really high.
It's massive now, though. Like, put in perspective, the most expensive player in the world when I was a big football fan, when I was growing up, was Alan Shearer in 1996. He went for 15 million British pounds. Last year, Neymar went for 220 million. So it's gradually kind of just gone through the roof. There's a lot more money. The Premier League global rights sold for $5.6 billion pounds last year. And that's just kind of 2-3 times the amount since it all really started in the 90s. But Mo Salah went for £30 million to Liverpool last year. Liverpool had bought players for that amount of money before. So, okay, it was a lot and we knew he was good, but no one expected what happened this year. He scored 44 goals. There was a really cute story of a player walking into the dressing room in Liverpool last week and saying, Mo, like, can you move some of your stuff out of the way? There was something like 11 Player of the Year trophies around his locker. So he really, really did win everything. So Liverpool started the game really well in Kiev last week in Champions League final. And he's our star player. It was billed as him against Ronaldo. And he's
that level where he is compared to Ronaldo.
Well, we're doing a preview show for the World Cup. And Egypt, he won the African Nations Cup for Egypt. And then they qualified for the World Cup. And Chris McCarty from ARN said he's at that level. He's at the Messi level, the Ronaldo level. I think you need to be doing it for a sustained number of years. He's 25. These guys are 32, 33. But definitely this season, he's reached that level of performance consistently, but one season. So, and also it's very different to do it at a World Cup. Ronaldo, Portugal won the European Championships last time. Messi got Argentina to the World Cup final. So the World Cup is going to be different, but he's definitely, some people see him at that level this season. And if he was to transfer, he'd be up there at that level, definitely.
And I saw he's, because he's Egyptian,
so
he's kind of hailed as this sporting hero. Well, he is a sporting hero. And you've got videos of Liverpool. He's really getting into the Muslim kind of background and learning about it and chanting,
It's unbelievable. It's really ironic because these are the same people who voted for Brexit and wouldn't really be into kind of looking outward in general as a really broad kind of stereotype in terms of what's important for football fans, and they're singing songs, I'll be Muslim too, and it's kind of amazing. Like he points to God when he scores, he wears a beard, he's openly he's fasting before that game.
That would have been tough.
Yeah, people they do it, the footballers do it. He was able to break his fast before the Champions League final, but footballers have always done it. Probably tough, but they do it.
So he had this terrible fall today. I saw this. Now, Sergio Ramos is a Real Madrid player.
Yeah.
And it's controversial that he fell, grabbed Mo Salah's arm, and reefed it out of his socket almost because he fell over and he dislocated his shoulder. Yeah,
exactly. And generally, shoulder injuries take 2 months to recover. So that was on the 25th of May. And the first game in the World Cup is Russia against Saudi Arabia, and Russia, the host nation, on the 14th of June. And Egypt play the next day. Egypt are in the same group with Uruguay in that group as well. So think of just this region in general. We've got 4 teams in the World Cup from Arab teams, Morocco and Tunisia as well. And there's going to be huge excitement.
For this region to have 4 teams, or is that quite a few?
It's quite a few. Saudi and Egypt are seldom in it, especially the kind of GCC. It's quite, North Africa usually have there's a quota per CONCAF for FIFA. There's a quota for each region, but we could have had more. Syria almost qualified; they almost beat Australia. UAE didn't do too badly, but Saudi are in it. They're not rated too highly, but they'll give it a good shot. And Egypt, and everyone is wondering now. I'll go back to the Sergio Ramos, but everyone's wondering, will Mo Salah make it? And this is the big story now. Will he be fit enough? Because the hopes of a nation are riding on him. He's that important, and he really will make the difference about why did they go out of the group. They've got 3 games against Uruguay, then Russia, and then the big decider against Egypt. Russia, Saudi and Egypt will play the 3rd game, so he should be fit for that. That's in about 4 weeks' time. Generally, a shoulder dislocation can take 2 months to recover. But, even if he's doing rehab on his shoulder, he's still got to get match fitness up. Egypt football is massive in Egypt, but a lot of football stopped after the 2011 revolution. A lot of different games and different things stopped. There was incidences in football stadiums, so he's really kind of inspired a generation again, and people are really proud of him and look up to him. And there's murals all around the city and everything like that. And he just gives the young people of Egypt hope. And we've seen recently in Dubai with the Arab Youth Survey, the report of, how youthful a region this is and how important it is for young people to kind of achieve and to aspire. And he really does give them hope.
So this is the equivalent of like Messi or Ronaldo, because I don't know football. So is this the equivalent of one of them being out for the World Cup?
Yeah, I think you've got to put it in context. It's just kind of, it's almost like a nation heartbreaking together. So it's like they were out, the football world would be more upset because of their the money people would be more upset because if Argentina didn't qualify, Messi is in, there'd be less eyeballs on TV. Will there be less eyeballs on TV if Salah doesn't play? No, Egypt will still have 50 million people watching their game. If he was out, it'd be a nation heartbreak. Like, put it in perspective. Basically, after that injury, and it was a innocuous challenge. Yes, Sergio Ramos is a tactical, dirty player. He's don't mean that in any kind of bad way, but he knows how to win, shall we say?
Well, there's a lot of comments on social media about him being conniving and tactical as well. But there was this massive response to this, right? That was really aggressive and negative, and the hashtag "son of a dog" was trending. About him. So
that stuff can happen in football a lot. I remember, people always call different nations divers, cheats. When England got knocked out into Argentina in '98, there was hysteria because Beckham got sent off because Diego Simeone enacted when Beckham kicked him and he got sent off. So there's always this stuff. There's like Klinsmann used to be known as a diver or whatever, and Sergio Ramos would be known as a clever, conniving player. But he always wins. So, Real Madrid fans won't hate him for it. But what's happened then is it was Liverpool. It's not Egypt yet. Egypt fans, like Ramos is trending in Arabic. It's all about Egypt, even though it's not their nation, right? But it's because it's a heartbreak. It's like you are our hope. I try to compare it with country I'm from. Ireland almost qualified for a World Cup in 2006. They were in 2002. And they were going in the qualifiers, and Thierry Henry, a famous French player, handballed the ball into the goal, and they qualified. And for about 48 hours or 72 hours, there was mass hysteria. Demand a rematch. Oh, there might be a rematch, blah, blah, blah. All crap. Like, these things happen in sports. Like, things don't go against you. And it's horrible, but that's just the unpredictable nature of it. Yeah, he did hold on a millisecond too longer, but like, and it was a little bit devious, but it's not the worst tackle you've ever seen. And he didn't go out to take him out of the World Cup. I'm going on a lot. Yeah, I see you looking at the clock, but
I'm
yeah.
just laughing because I'm from Australia, where it's kind of more rugby and rugby league oriented, and the tackles that you see in there, like, they can paralyze people.
Well, funny you bring that up. In rugby, there's a famous incident of, you know, the Lions tour, the British Lions, when they go to South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. They went to New Zealand, I think, in around 2006. And I think it was Mahananu, I mix up names. But one of the New Zealand guys did, what do you call that? Spear tackle on Brian O'Driscoll, the famous Irish rugby player, and put him out of the tournament. He was captain of the Lions in the first 3 minutes of the first test. And that's clearly intentional. Like, it's very different to what Sergio Ramos did. But yeah, and like, but even going back, like, we just saw Diego Maradona, who we've loved in the UAE for the last 10 years or so.
Coach now, right?
Yeah, well, he actually lost his job or left after they didn't get promoted. So he's taken a job in Belarus, of all places.
So who is Diego Maradona for people, including me, who don't know exactly who he is?
So Diego Maradona is Argentinian, up there as one of the greatest players of all time. 1986 World Cup winner, the first year that Argentina hosted it. He's famous for the hand of God, that goal that he knocked into the goal against England.
We all really hope Mo Salah heals from this injury, right? Because he's tweeted that nothing's going to stop him.
Yeah.
So there is expectation that he is going to play in the World Cup.
The groups, the squads, you can have 23 players in your squad. You have to have 3 goalkeepers. If it was a really serious injury, if it was a 6-month injury or a cruciate knee, Egypt would have replaced him in the squad. They haven't replaced him. He's with the camp. He'll travel to Russia and they'll play him. They'll gradually play him. There'll be a lot of pressure on the coach to put him in early, which is risky. What they're going to try and do is qualify for that group and make sure he's fit for the tougher games. But it's risky. That group has a home nation, Russia, who, even though they're one of the lowest ranked teams in the FIFA rankings, home nations always do well in World Cups. You know, Vladimir Putin would have it in the national interest that they do well. So you would expect Russia would put on a better showing. Saudi Arabia will know their way around. Like, they're not awful. Like, they will know how to play against Egypt particularly. Uruguay have had good tournaments in the past. And they do have Suarez, who used to play for Liverpool. He plays for Barcelona. And another guy called Edison Cavani with PSG. So all those teams are tough enough. Egypt will hope that they don't lose them. Key thing in World Cups is, and we'll see, like, it's going to be all over Dubai from the 14th of June for a month. Every venue will have a dome, a tent. Switch over after the Ramadan tents. They'll go into football tents. And, you know, you'll be getting off work at the perfect times. There'll be 4 games a day for the first 12 days. So it's going to be amazing. You know, we've got 206 nationalities in Dubai, and 32 of those nationalities are going to be represented. So you'll be able to watch the games wherever. Australia are even in it, although they're not very good.
That'll be great, I'm sure. It's also a great time for girls to go out and perv on guys. Because for the Euros, I think that was 2 years ago, every bar was jam-packed. So me and my friends used to just go out and be like, you know, watching the game in quote marks. But there are loads of places.
Which games would you go to? Italian games or something?
All the kind of Euro ones.
But which team? Anyone? Any country?
I said Euro. It's the Euros. They're all European teams.
Yeah.
Scotland I was cheering for.
Okay.
And then England and... yeah, otherwise I just go for the games. When my friends went, I'd go with them, so it's fun.
Yeah.
There's loads of places actually playing the World Cup if you do want to get down. Just to name a few, there's Burger and Lobster in DIFC. Barasti's got a massive tent. McGettigan's, of course, is playing it. Nisozi Grill. There's loads, and we're going to put them all on the website so you can see.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be a great kind of month to be in Dubai and feeling that's when the city shines, right? When there's international tournaments and it's all the different cultures. So everyone's a bit got a bit of a rivalry, but there's also really fun atmosphere.
Yeah, I think every country is different. If you're in the tournament, your country turns that color. If you're a national team, if you're not in the tournament, then it's not as big. But I've often been in Beirut in Lebanon during the World Cup, and it's amazing. All the cars have flags of Germany and France and stuff. It's mad. I saw a tweet yesterday saying it started. There was a German flag on a car in Beirut, so it starts. Everyone picks a team, whereas here there's no flags and there's no stuff like that. But every country in the World Cup will have at least 8,000 people here, you know, like there will be a group of people watching it. So it's cool.
Saudi will be interesting to watch at this time because we have Lovin Saudi, obviously.
Yeah.
And I imagine what they do to the cars here on National Day in Saudi.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I was thinking of, you know, going to Russia and following it, but then I was like, no, I'm going to go to Saudi. So, yeah. So I'm going over to Saudi to watch the game against Russia. Like they've a tent there, which is the largest iftar tent in the world. Hartna, something for your Hartna. Yeah, it fits 8,000 people, so the size of a small stadium, and that's fully booked. Or it's been, you know, people are going to for iftar and suhoor every night, and then they're going to show the games there. So it's going to be amazing to see. Like, obviously they'll all be Saudis. I wouldn't want to be there and be Russian or whatever for the first game, but yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so stay tuned to lovindubai.com. We'll have all the World Cup updates. If you have any questions about any of this, tweet us and we'll get Rich to answer or attempt to answer.
I'm going to make you an expert, Kate, by the end of the tournament.
And next up, we're going to be talking about people of determination because there's some great news out of the RTA. So, Rich, there's news this week out of the RTA, which is great news. We did clickbait this title. They're giving away free taxi rides to certain people. Now, these people are people of determination. This is a great initiative because they're now fitting out taxis with like wheelchair access, and they're just making the city more friendly to people with special needs.
Amazing initiative led by RTA. It shows how progressive they are. There have been initiatives, especially with transport and traffic and parking spaces for people with determination, but having free taxis is incredible. Maybe they'll extend it to older people as well. I know my mum would love free taxis, but people with determination, it's great. I've been really inspired lately in the UAE, especially this year. I don't know why. Maybe I've just noticed it more. But there was the 1 year preparation for the Special Olympics. There was all dry run events like all over the UAE, and it's happening in Abu Dhabi next year, right?
Yeah, in 2019. So this is the Special Olympics. It's going to be the Summer Games. This will be on March 14 to 21 next year. It's going to be hosted around different Abu Dhabi locations, including the Zayed Sports Stadium. So that's going to be really exciting. And it just, I think, indicates this country's willingness and interest in making this country friendly to people with special needs.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think in terms of an event, like we were just talking about football, like the Special Olympics is bigger. There's more participants, or it's one of those huge international tournaments where every nation will come, and it will grip here. Like the different nations will be staying in Dubai, and even though it's hosted in Abu Dhabi. And I was at an event last week. So the NAS Sports, the summer events that His Highness Sheikh Hamdan puts on.
This is the
Nad Al Shiba. Yeah. Well, they do the night challenge, which is an obstacle course, but all during Ramadan, they've got events in the evening.
Oh, right.
So you can go down to the sports complex. It's the only time in the year that amazing facility is open to the public, and the public can win. That's just the Nada. Yeah, circle. But there's an 8K track in Nad Al Shiba, which is open anyway. But if ever you see football teams train in these beautiful, like, jumping off diving boards and stuff like that, that's in a sports complex. So that's a private kind of, it's not the Sheikh Hamdan swimming pool. There's a sports facility in Al Shiba, which is private, and the best teams train there. They don't train in Sports City or in the UAEFA. Man United will stay in the one and only to get their bus out there, and they love the facilities there. But we can't access that, but we can right now. We can go and watch. All local teams, like Emirati teams, are playing volleyball. They all break their fast at 7 o'clock, and they play these tournaments at 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. And there was a cycle challenge. For the last 5 years, they've been running a 75K race around the roads around Maidan. and there was one for the guys on Friday night and for the ladies on Sunday night, and it was incredible. Like, I've never seen a cycle race lit up so well. Like, it's all the blue and green lights, and Sheikh Hamdan put the whole thing on for free food, ice spots, massages. There was cameras, TV. The winners won big prizes like 10, 20,000 dirhams, cars, stuff like that. And all the elite Emirati teams were winning it and pushing it hard. It was amazing to see.
So is this open to anyone to participate?
Yeah, it was free to enter. It was free to enter. And there was, but what I was going about so the People of Determination had their own race. They were off at the start, and they were averaging 28 kilometers an hour, which is incredible. Like, the winners were on 40-something. And it was incredible to see they were given, like, they were off before, People of Determination were off before the elite. They had their own 30 minutes space to go to compete. So it's not just the RTA are instilling it, everything sporting-wise, it's been instilled in the UAE. And I can see if it's been led by the government and different sorts of organizations, you'd imagine that other entities and companies will start being more welcome.
One interesting thing I know, so we're doing this series called Blessed in Dubai. Now we're rolling out 10 videos throughout the course of Ramadan, and we interviewed real people of Dubai that are showing that anything's possible, and so that why they feel blessed in Dubai. So we had an overwhelming response to this, and some of the stories that have come out of this. One young woman, her name's Shabika. She's got Friedreich's ataxia, so she's in a wheelchair. She's founded this organization called Wings of Angels, where they help educate businesses on wheelchair ramps. And when I was speaking to her, you do not realize how limiting it can be if there aren't wheelchair ramps. And one little ledge can just really upset things, and it's degrading for them to feel like to be lifted up, for the wheelchair to be lifted up.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And so she's working with companies like, well, the RTA for one.
Yeah.
Because she was saying there's all this incredible wheelchair-friendly access within the metro station.
Yeah.
But the footpath to get into the metro station wasn't wheelchair-friendly. So she was like, what's the point if you can't even get in there?
Yeah.
So she's doing these incredible things with the government and with different companies to implement these wheelchair ramps.
That's really good. And she's leading it. It shows how one individual can make a difference. It's also amazing how people who you would think that they might feel as if things are tough, and then they have so much, to use the same word, determination, and then they can inspire so many. Going back to sporting reference, Team Angel Wolf are really well known in Dubai overall, and friend of Lovin Dubai. So Team Angel Wolf is Nick Watson and his 15-year-old son Rio, and they compete in all the sporting events together. So Nick does the cycle with Rio in the same bike, or he does the triathlon, or he does the runs.
He's got a custom-made part for Rio to come along.
So the swim is a canoe, the run is a push-run thing. Seat on wheels, and then the bike is like you'd see motorbikes with separate compartments. It's like a pedal bike with a separate.
I know what to say.
Yeah, it's not compartment, but it's a separate. It's an add-on anyway for Rio to take part, and Rio loves it. And Nick, even though he's trying harder than everyone else because he's got to compete in all these events, he's still so friendly on the course and he meets with everyone. But it's so inspiring to see, and it's really motivating for the whole community in the UAE. And I know Sheikh Hamdan has met Rio a couple of times this year. Team Angel Wolf competed their 50th event this season, so from September to April.
50th this season.
Yeah, they've done over 100 overall.
That's a lot of events.
Yeah, huge. Like, and you know, they it's such effort to get to all of them and to compete. So Rio's inspiring, and so is what episode? Shabika, sorry.
Episode's not out yet. We did just have Kimberly, who's has cerebral palsy, and she's done a TED talk. She's another inspirational woman, and she's just kicking ass. Like, these people are so impressive, and they're so well educated and well spoken, and they just want to tell their story. And I was sitting there through these interviews just going, what am I doing with my life? I feel like an underachiever next to people like this because they are so inspiring and so determined.
Well, it's amazing to see, and good on the RTA. It sounds like just a plug, but really, if a company that size, and they can instigate shit like that and providing free taxis, people determination, it's excellency.
His Highness Sheikh Mohammed's also helping lead this, right, with the beach access and the different initiatives. So it's great to see it's from the top down. Everyone's got the right attitude.
Yeah, brilliant. Cool. Good.
Well, happy Friday, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy whatever you're doing. If you have any questions about the World Cup, do send us those questions on social media and we'll do our best to answer them. Rich is our football expert in office. Otherwise, we can ask someone, maybe Maradona, we could send him some questions.
Yeah, I'm going to hang out with Maradona next week somehow.
I'll check that on your social media then.
And Casey can have this spot back. But it's been nice being here. Thanks very much, Kate.
Have a great Friday, everyone.